So every now and then, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia does this thing where they'll take a very big social issue and they'll disguise it in the trappings of just some really slapstick, over-the-top, funny, hysterical, and tasteless type scenarios, like we got tonight in the episode The Gang Escapes. But they still get the point across. And sometimes I think that that message doesn't always get across because people just seem to judge the show on its surface level. But if you look at an episode like tonight, you see it's very clear. The storyline itself is pretty basic, and it's not much different than a lot of the other scenarios the gang has found themselves in before. Dee comes up with a great idea that they should do one of those escape room type competition things to see how they function together as a unit, and of course it falls apart in typical It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia fashion. But again, the gang from Patty's Pub can always find a loophole to save the day, and they actually do here, and it has a very sweet ending to it in which, again, Dee is, once again accepted as part of the gang, but that, I think, doesn't really touch upon the overall theme, which was a really, really strong discussion and I think an examination of male and female issues. Now, I know some of you might be listening to this and rolling your eyes, but if you look at this season, if you look at the upcoming episodes, the show really seems to want to embrace this idea of like, look, we've had issues in the past sometimes with how our characters and our scenarios have addressed women. This is something that we really need to address. Now, It's Always Sunny finds a way to do it in brutally honest and humorous ways. And I also like the fact that they are also one of those shows that can brag about having a number of female writers and directors who are on this season also. But in regards to this episode, I love the fact that you had Dee on one side and then you had Charlie, Mac, Dennis, and Frank on the other. And the four of them exemplifying every bad cliche you can think of about guys when they get together. Ultra competitive, always wanting to be the alpha, basically turning it into, for lack of a better phrase, big dick measuring contests. It played out beautifully because it played into each of their dynamics, especially the power move between Frank and Dennis over gum chewing, no less. I also like it, and again, some people may roll your eyes, but I'm going to go with it. I think there's a reason why the four of them, in the height of their alpha maleness, brought up the art of the deal. And I think we know the direct Donald Trump connection there. And I think that's another message they were trying to get across too. Is this fake tough guy, paper mache, we're guys, this is what guys do, and everything like that. It doesn't hold water. It doesn't stand up to the realities of things. It doesn't hold up that guys necessarily collectively as a group can do any better than a group of women can or a group of men and women can together. It comes down to the individuals, not what everybody's got in their pants. What I really liked about this episode, though, is that, again, it had a very little kid, like they're on the playground type attitude. And I always remind myself sometimes of how old the characters are, because as much as it just was painful to see and the four of them just failed trying to get the key and the lock scenario going, the fact that Dee was able to escape Dennis's room, and though granted she fell and got hurt, but it's interesting that some people are going to view that as, well, they accepted her because she's more like one of the guys. No, they accepted her because in their mind Dee represents a woman who can be like a guy and isn't just a woman, and it's sad that Dee had to go through what she had to go through to get that point across. But I think it was very, very sweet and nice at the end that as much as they can come to a level of understanding and acceptance of Dee, I think we really saw it. Now, again, the whole thing with the meat and everything like that, we can have a whole conversation about too. But I was waiting for the other shoe to drop. I was waiting for something to happen after the picture. And yes, I know the bird comments and everything else are probably going to find their way back again next episode. But it reminded me of Family Guy in the moment where Peter and Meg have that moment of realization. It's not like the abuse isn't going to continue, but there's this commonality and the sense of understanding that came into play that I really, really liked. And again, I know I'm probably getting really heady about a sitcom, but I think It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia has a lot more meaning to it than I think sometimes people give it credit for. So I just want to make sure that it gets its due. Having said that, I also want to touch upon some of the cool and or disturbing things we took from the episode. First, Dennis's bedroom. We need to address that. Wow, soundproof, automatic systems that kick in when you touch the alarm clock. The fact that the only way Dee could actually get out of Dennis's room, which he seemed both impressed, honored, and bothered by, was her ability to get out onto the window ledge and unfortunately hurt herself, but she actually got out, which again I thought was interesting and earned her the respect of the rest of the group. The gum chewing for dominance. That was disgusting and disturbing on a number of levels. I love Danny DeVito. I don't want to hear Danny DeVito chew gum anymore. It just doesn't sound... There's a couple of analogies I want to use that I don't think are appropriate and would probably get this review a very bad grade. So I'll just let you use your imagination. But yeah, I'd rather see Frank oiled up, panting and coming out of a couch or a chair sweaty and naked than to hear that sound. It's just disgusting on so many levels. Apparently Dennis likes to riff, and when he's a leader, he thinks all leaders have the right to riff, so that's good to know. Head cows are always grazing. That's always important to know. I didn't know that. That's a very important thing to keep in mind. So overall, I gotta say, really fun quality episode, nice little message, a nice little slice of life episode, not something with big overarching storylines or anything like that. But again, I think it showed Dee's place in the group. I think there was a level of acceptance and respect that she earned from the four of them, at least temporarily. And on a quick last note, watch it again also because Charlie, that when he's speaking on behalf of the group and speaking on behalf of the unlocking of the lock and everything else, I just think that was also a very nice moment for Charlie Day to shine too. So all in all, quality episode, really enjoyed it. Wasn't anything that had me just holding my side and laughing, but a very good quality spotlight, and again, I think gave Dee the credit she's owed.